Welcome back to the channel, guys and girls. Thank you very much for returning to KKNEV. This is a follow-up, and believe it or not, it's been a very fast 1 month. 4 whole weeks have gone by since the lads came and put my pink octopus in my garden. Yeah, the Cozy 6. So this is all about how the first month's been. Has it been okay? Has it heated the house? Has the water been hot enough? How much did it cost me for that first month? Let's delve and find out. Well, there has been one small issue with the pink octopus, that thing there, and that is that for 2 nights we had no central heating, but yes, we had hot water. Don't forget, it is immersion heater based as well in the cupboard with a quick switch. So it was just the heating. Now, I didn't know how to get people out dead quick, and I probably did the wrong thing. I was looking for a number for a different department, and I've since found out that what you do is simply call the coordinator or customer advisor, should I say, that you have been dealing with all the time while you're having it fitted. Her name was Anna. Hello, Hannah, if you're watching this. I have mentioned you before. And yeah, basically, if I'd have been in touch with Hannah on email or even rang her, she'd have got someone out probably the next morning. All it seemed was that it wasn't connecting to my Wi-Fi. Now, that could have been my Wi-Fi as an issue, or it could have been the hub inside. I feel it was probably my Wi-Fi. Anyway, while the guys were here, Lee took all of this bottom panel off here, and inside there's a little filter. They clean the filter out. There's also a filter up in the attic and loft area, which they cleaned out. Just par for the course in case it was that. Turned out it wasn't. Basically, when the guy turned up on the morning at 8 o'clock, the connection had been made to my Wi-Fi and it was back on again. So this is why I'm blaming the Wi-Fi rather than the system. So yeah, educational curve. Now, people are saying now, I bet, oh, if you had gas, then you could have had a gas heater on as well. Well, no, because I don't want to burn gas anymore. But I could have had an issue with the gas boiler, don't forget. Let's face a few facts here. The gas boiler could have been the major issue, and let's face it, you know, you sometimes can't get someone out straight away. It could have been the next day, could have been 2 days down the road before I could have got a local gas certified person to come around and have a look. So it works both ways. So I'm not going to blame the system, and I'm not going to blame the fact of the Cozy 6 not operating, because I do believe it was down to my Wi-Fi. Don't forget, this is all app based and Wi-Fi based, and I'll come to that in just a moment. So let's look into the good side of the heat pump first. Sitting in this nice warm new studio of mine. I call it the studio because while the wife's not here, it's my studio. When she's here, it's the summer house. So think what you will of that. 1, regrets. Have I got a regret having it put in after this first month? Not one penneth have I got a regret, because I know that since the first day they came, I've not used any fossil fuel gas into my home. So that one thing alone makes it all worthwhile. The second thing is, of course, that it's worked. It's been perfect. One thing I have noticed on this system over my old gas boiler was the fact that when you turn a gas boiler on, normally within about 15 minutes, your radiators were up to temperature and it was getting warm. The Cozy 6 and any heat pump, to be fair, needs that little more time. So all you do is schedule the thing. When you know it's going to turn cool at, say, 6 o'clock, you schedule it to come on at, say, 5:30. Always give yourself a good 30 minutes before you really need that heat. Now, I've always set it at 21 degrees. Some people set it at 20. Between that 20 and 21.5 degrees is when you'll find that heat pumps are their most efficient. So if you remember that and remember to schedule it before you're going to need the heat, great. Another good thing about the heat pump, yes, it has been very quiet, it has been silent. I've heard it a couple of times early morning at 4 when my water comes on at 4 o'clock till 5, which I make and create hot water for 7 pence for every kilowatt hour I've used, which is super duper cheap. I don't think you could heat water up any cheaper than that, to be fair. 7 pence a kilowatt hour, and I have it on for an hour every other day. That's all it needs to keep the 48 degrees. Between 48 and it dips down about to 42 just before it starts getting hot again on the second day. So that's been great. Now, here's one of the negatives. The first negative is that I live with another person, and that's my wife. Now, if she lived here alone at this particular time and I was to pass all of a sudden, I'm not religious, I would leave her in a bit of a quagmire because she doesn't know how to operate the app. She hasn't got the app on her phone. I've done all the scheduling. If we find that we need an extra bit of hot water, I click the boost button, which again is another good thing about this system. There is a boost button to touch, and if you touch the boost button on water or central heating, it does it outside of your scheduled time, so you have got a boost button on the app. But the one thing, like I say, is that it's crucially important for her to get to know how this system works, because if I do go, or even if I went into hospital in an emergency in the middle of winter, you know, okay, it's scheduled to come on and the times are right, and I could do that on my app away from the home, don't get me wrong on that. But I think there is a little shortcoming because there is no display in the property that shows you when it's on, when it's not on, what your scheduled times are. And yes, there is a boost button. They are called, you know, in each zone, I've got 4. There's little white boxes which you can go and press and it will boost it. Although it has a built-in thermostat into these little boxes for each room to tell you obviously what the temperature is, it isn't digital. It doesn't tell you on the thing. So that is a bit of a letdown, where you've got no central screen, or you've got this little white plastic box with a boost button. Some folks really don't mind that. They're quite happy to use an app-based system, and so am I. I haven't got a problem with that. But I do feel it's a flaw where one person can take control of the whole house when there's 3 or 4 people living in it. And yes, okay, you'd have this overriding factor of people doing this and setting this and messing with schedules. But why there's not a full colour, nice digital system, 4-inch square or something, in the main room that you are living in, i.e. in the living room or wherever you want your main thermostat to operate the system. So Octopus, if you're watching this, that's one thing I would say definitely consider, because I think quite a lot of customers would like that, instead of this guessing game using an app all the time for one person. So am I missing gas at all? No, I'm not. Am I missing the very noisy boiler in the kitchen? No, I'm not. I'm missing the fact of using fossil fuels? No, I'm not, like I said at the beginning of this. So they are all big bonuses to me, and I made that quite clear when I first did the first video. Some people have been very negative. Some of the comments have been really stupid. They've not been subscribers, so that's one good thing. If they were subscribers to my channel, they'd know that I am very EV orientated and renewable orientated. And so obviously with that in mind, I don't think the comments would have come the way they have if they were subscribers. And luckily, like I say, no subscriber has been very anti about this heat pump. In fact, I've had some good comments about it, more so than I have negative. The negative ones have been from folks who say gas is far better, gas is always going to be king. You know, the typical stuck in the mud fossil fuel users who, like I say, don't subscribe to this channel, don't run an electric car, can't see anything in renewables or sustainability, and they're a little sad to say the least. But I'm not going to go there on a personal level. Let them sink into their hole of stuck in the mud attitude, because I'm far more of a future thinker than that. So we'll move on. Now folks, this brings me to efficiency. Efficiency over the last 4 weeks. I can only do this over 1 month because I've only had it installed for 1 month. Most folks will agree that within the business of supplying heat and energy, most heat pumps are at least 2.5 times more efficient than any gas boiler. And that's a brand new gas boiler. Modern gas boilers. So imagine your old ones that you've had in your house for 20 years. They are well inefficient by now, I'd guess. There is a thing called SCOP, S-C-O-P, that turns up on most apps that are to do with heat pumps. Now, Octopus Energy show you this on theirs. It's very easy to get to. That's it there. Yep, that's the SCOP. This is an average, and they say that any heat pump that offers anything around 2.5 is efficient. Mine's nearly 4, so it goes to show how new it is, how modern it is, and everything else. And so that's the SCOP. Now, I'll put up on here what SCOP is all about instead of me explaining it. And if you want to read this while I'm gallivanting on and giving it this, please do. Now, I know it's quite efficient. I did a bit of homework on the Cozy 6 before I purchased it, and most of the reviews were telling me so. So I was quite happy to continue and let Octopus Energy come along and fit me this heat pump. Money-wise, let's get to the nitty-gritty of it now. How much has it cost me over the last 4 weeks? And I'm going to give averages here because obviously some weeks are going a bit more than others. And I have got an EV, don't forget. So I've been charging my car in with this price I'm going to show you on the daily rate. But I'll give you an average. I'll work out the average of what it is per day. Okay, this is off the app. This is a typical week. I'm showing it in pounds at the moment, but I will press that kWh button in a minute to show you the kilowatt hours used as well. We used 111 kilowatt hours, and on that Tuesday I did actually charge the car for about 35 kilowatts of that. So there you go, not expensive at all. So that's for everything. That's, like I say, that's for cooking, that's for heating the house, hot water, you name it, lights on, TV on, whatever. I consider that pretty damn good. So over the month, if you said it was, 25 quid even a week, that's £100 a month. So £1,200 a year. And that's running that heat pump at this particular time. Now I know it's going to go up. It's going to go up slightly in the winter. I know that. But it's also going to go down in the next 4 months, from now all the way up till maybe the end of September. So I'm very happy at that, because don't forget, I've got no gas coming in the house now, so I've got no standing charge on gas. So that money I'm instantly saving is helping towards my electricity bill. Now, my next move, as you all well know, is solar. I've been in touch with Octopus Energy. They've not got back to me yet. They're obviously very busy on their solar quoting. Been 3 days and I've heard nothing. I must chase that. Because once I've got the solar fitted at 10 panels and a battery, wow, this is going to be a pretty much self-contained house. And even if I have to pay 30%, bill of what I'm paying now, it's pennies. It's going to be pennies. And I'm lucky maybe that I can afford to put this investment in now and know I've got no major big electric bills coming my way for the rest of my life on the planet, So, if I'm going to be another 15 years, that solar that's going on there and the heat pump should be fine. To bring this to an end, it's been great. I have no qualms to recommend a heat pump to anybody, as long as you can put it with the 4 days of the mess, which you would have seen on that first one I did. This is just a follow-up. I'm going to end it there, basically, because I don't need to rant any more about it. Very effective, does the job, and yeah, am I glad I had it £400? Of course I'm glad I had it done at £400. Thank you, UK government, for paying the £7,500 and Octopus giving me £100 off. Okay, I've got codes and everything else that I've been flashing up on this as we've gone through. I'll put them up again now as I'm talking and finishing. Thanks for watching on this. It was just a quick upkeep of how things are going over the month. Hope it gives you some idea. If you think about having a heat pump, please just go ahead and do it while these grants are here, because it's pennies. And even if it costs you £2,500, £3,000 to have it fitted in a bigger, larger home for a larger heat pump, still worth every penny. Please subscribe if you've not already. We'll see you again on KKNEV, I'm sure. See you later.